What's up guys, welcome back to a very exciting video with a car that has been missing from the channel and from my life for quite some time. If you are a long time viewer, you might have seen the Aristo video from, I think it was almost 3 years ago now, where we did a few suspension upgrades to this, and we ended the video on a very sour note because on my way home, I never actually put it in the video what exactly happened, but some dickhead P-plater was on his phone and went straight up the back of me in an intersection when I was stopped and hit both the rear and pushed the front of my car. I did see it coming, so I tried to turn out of the way. When he hit me in the back, it launched me forward and got some front damage as well. It was never written off and the damage wasn't crazy bad. It was obviously not ideal and I was absolutely heartbroken. But the car went down to minis after that to get repaired. And of course, as car lovers, you can't just fix it, you've got to make it better. So I reintroduced you my 2001 Toyota Aristo Vertex Edition in R33 GTR Midnight Purple. So this is one of my favorite colors of all time, and I've always wanted to paint a car this color. I think this car suits it beautifully. Even the gold badges, which I wasn't sold on before, now it's purple, I reckon they just pop perfectly without looking tacky. So they're a forged raised wheel that we've got on here. They're from a 370Z track edition, but they have been painted now in a Mazda color. I'm not sure exactly what it is, but it's a graphite gray. So they're 19 by 10 on the back, pretty good offset from factory. They fill the guards out all right. And the front is 19 by 9 with a 20mm spacer because the offset on the front of these wheels is not great, but I think they look bloody beautiful. We've got a 245 on the rear and a 235 on the front. Whilst it was at Minis, I had them do a bunch of extra little things, which if you're an Aristo fan, you might have spotted one already, but I've got a lot of little things done. So we had the rear guards completely shaved, welded and seam sealed. So we've got all the room in the world here to fit some bigger tires or pull some more camber out. So right now I'm looking at that going, I at least want to probably do a 255 on the back next. What I said you may have noticed is this car has a single exit exhaust, which they never came with factory. So I've had the bumper bar completely plastic welded. They actually had two bumper bars, cut a section out of one, plastic welded into the right-hand side on this. Now, when I say we have a single exit exhaust, I'm pretty much lying because we still have a twin exit exhaust. I just have one under there that isn't bolted on, and it's pretty much just dumping the exhaust gas at the boot. I'm sure you'll see those finishing touches that come together on a future video. Even with one exhaust completely undone, just because I've got a muffler on this side, because I gave Chris in another video my old straight pipes, the muffler actually quietened the hell out of it somehow. It is a full open door respray. All the door jams underneath of the bonnet and everything's been done. The only thing that's still black is the actual engine bay, which if we ever pull the engine out of, I'll be tempted to paint the whole bay then. And I mean, we're probably coming towards the show car territory then. It's not supposed to be that. But yeah, what a bloody car. It's obviously 2JZ. If you're not familiar with these cars, they're basically the four-door Supra. You've got a 2JZ, unlike your Chasers and all the rest of it, and they're VVTi, unlike I think all your Supras, or maybe all your early Supras. They're pretty much the biggest, baddest 2JZ that come out factory. They're obviously twin turbo factory, which, yes, you can expect a single turbo conversion in the near future because I need that noise. And the one downside of those twins is it really doesn't matter what you do, you're never gonna get a proper turbo noise or a dose or flutter out of it. We do have a couple mods done to it at the moment, which is mainly just the front mount. And that did wake it up and give it a bit more turbo noise. And it definitely helped with the heat soak that the standard side mount intercooler did. But we're never really gonna be happy until we get that single turbo one. So keep an eye out for that one. So when I say it's a four-door Supra, that just means it's better than a Supra, because why would you not want the power and refinement of all that, but with such elegance and class as this car has to offer. This thing is so smooth on the road. We've got the full black leather interior. They did have a lot of cloth ones as well. I'm pretty sure the Vertex Edition is part of what has all the leather pack and everything else. When I bought this car, that was an absolute given. I was never getting cloth interior or the brown interior. It had to be the black leather, and I do not regret it. It's got heated seats. From factory, it has quite a comprehensive sat-nav system, but it doesn't work in Australia, and you don't have Bluetooth. So I have updated that now. So it's got a 7-inch Android tablet. We've also got two 12-inch subwoofers in the boot. The two 12-inch subs are probably well and truly overkill, but they came with the car, so we've just put a different amp into it. This thing really is the best all-rounder. You can hard park it all you want and go to car meets. You don't have to be ashamed. The thing looks mint. Yes, it's not the craziest thing at stock, but for a stock car that weighs as much as it does, this thing absolutely pulls. Especially once you got both turbos kicked in, which is about 4,000 RPM, this thing moves. And up to the totally legal speed limit that I have gotten this thing to, it never shows any sign of slowing down. All the while being super smooth. It handles the corners way better than you'd think it would. Obviously Toyota, it is a damn good chassis, like all your IS200s and Chasers and all that, but it is a big, heavy boat. We've got some teen or tine, or however you say it, coilovers in there, which are way too soft for what I'm trying to do with the car, and they are very, very old as well. So I am going to be looking at trying to update those and fingers crossed get some shockworks in there in the future. Unlike your Australian and American normal imported GS300s, the Aristos had full rear steer in the twin turbo ones. So I made up some washers to lock out the rack and unplugged it. However, one of the first videos you're going to see on this car properly, when we get dived into the suspension of this thing, is a GS300 subframe swap. Mainly because all the tie rods and everything are completely worn out in this thing, and I'm not looking at replacing that. On top of that, the only other suspension stuff that's been done is it's actually got shortened uprights, or spindles as they call them. And it's a common thing on like all your big Toyota chassis, like Chasers and that. When you go very low, the upper arm tends to hit the strut tower. So shortened spindles fix that, and to correct all the geometry again while it's low too, it's also got the roll center adjusters in it. Other than that, I haven't touched a thing, and we are going to work on our fitment. I'm pretty happy with these wheel package, but we got the guards rolled and pulled by Minis, so they've got a fair bit more room. So my plan is to come down a little bit lower and push the wheels out a little bit further. We've got an adjustable eccentric on the front, so we'll see what sort of fitment we can get out of it. Time to take for a drive. There's actually a few things done to this car, probably more than I remember. It's also actually torsion LSD factory diff out of a Supra, so it's got an LSD. It is auto, they are all auto from factory. And honestly, I've been tempted to manual convert it, but the car is so good at being a cruiser as well as dabbling in performance application that I really don't like the idea of going to a fully manual setup. But I have been leaning towards things like the 8 HP. We can obviously will help our ratios out massively, make the car feel night and day, and shifts fast as hell without losing the benefits of the auto. So this thing is a bit of a slush box. It's an A340, same as a Supra. They were never anything super special, but they handled decent torque and power for a stock box. They can be woken up significantly with a shift kit, and I do recommend we put a cooler on this as well. So we'll probably get around to oil coolering it at least to make it last a bit longer, and potentially shift kitting it. We might do a... But I really don't want to put any money into the setup. I'd rather focus on saving up to put something like the 8 HP in it. So it might be a slush box, but the Series 2 did get the benefit of having the Tiptronic. So they've got downshift on the front of the wheel and upshift on the back of the wheel. But when you're going to use that, make sure you hit it about a second before you actually want the shift. But it's still a much handier feature than driving the other ones that don't have any of those options. You can still manually shift it and it will lock down in the first gear. As long as you're under 60k an hour, it doesn't let you do stupid things. But and obviously we've got plenty of other things to do with our single turbo conversion, rear end conversion. There's a lot happening. And of course, this is one of, I think I have 12 cars at the moment. So yeah, getting through all my projects has been difficult, but we'll get there. And I'm sure over time, you'll start seeing more and more cars on the channel. This year, I am pushing to try and grow the YouTube a fair bit. So anything you guys can do to push the videos out there, well appreciated. We're trying to up the quality of everything. We've now got DJI mics as well. I hope you guys can really notice a difference with that. obviously we're trying to get some nice driving shots today. And I'm not going to tell you that this is the best sounding JZ by any means. This thing is pretty much stock, but we were very curious to try and test out the mics. And I'm really very keen to get the comparison when this thing has a full proper exhaust system, turbo change, and a whole bunch of other things. I'll be very keen to hear the difference then, so stay tuned for that one. And boy is this thing bloody beautiful to drive.